Hello and welcome to another video looking at another issue of Dreamcast magazine. This is a UK magazine from Paragon Publishing, and this is issue 13, and it was released on the 7th of September 2000, so nearly 16 years ago now. The front cover, as you can see, features heavily Half-Life, and this is one of the most iconic issues of the magazine just because of this cover. Half-Life, as we know now, didn't actually come out for the Dreamcast. It was near enough complete, but then it was cancelled. But you can get it. I mean, I've got a copy here in this nice Blu-ray case that was done for me by a friend. And yeah, it has all the features that you would expect from the final game. It's got the Blue Shift variant on it. But let's have a look at the magazine. So, as I said, Half-Life on the cover. Let's delve beneath the beneath the cover. Contents page here. We've got Half-Life here and little bit of information on the rest of the contents of the magazine, as you would imagine. Royal Rumble and Tony Hawk's skateboarding down there. I will say again that when I do these videos, I do take scans of the magazine and I put them up on the Dreamcast Junkyard, the correlating article to go along with the video. So I will put a link in the description below. So newscast here, we've got a quick look at Phantasy Star Online, and then some news here about Colin McRae Rally 2 being cancelled. Did do another video on that. If you look back through my videos, you'll find one where I got to actually play it. Some previews of Tony Hawk's Skateboarding 2, and some nice news articles down here on the left hand side. You've got one here about Mr. Driller 2. Again, didn't come out. Guilty Gear X and Tomb Raider Chronicles, and some information here on Disney's Dinosaur. Okay, news about the secrets being uncovered in Virtua Tennis, and then this is an interesting little snippet down here. This is about this period for the Dreamcast, sort of late 2000, was the time where things started to go a bit wrong for it, where games were being cancelled, people were pulling support for the console, and this magazine in particular is, you can kind of see the turning point where games were starting to be cancelled. So we had the Colin McRae Rally one being cancelled, and then we've got this little snippet here which details a lot of other games that are being cancelled. So you've got Baldur's Gate, Messiah, UEFA 2001, Independence War 2, El Dorado, and a football game called UEFA 2001. So they were all cancelled. So yeah, this really marks a turning point for the Dreamcast. Okay, information here about Picasso and a comic that was planned for it, and again another sort of negative kind of news piece here about piracy and the effect it was having on Dreamcast sales in America. News here about the online version of Speed Devils, and also a small preview here of a game called 100 Swords, which we didn't get in the UK. Okay, import news. Information here about the kind of internet cafes that Sega are looking at launching in Japan, these net-at things. So just some information there about what you could do, what you could expect. You know, you could go and browse the internet, play online games, that kind of thing. And some news here from the US about Jet Set Radio tags that you could download to your VMU on the internet. Okay, more previews. Here we've got Bang Gunship Elite, which I actually really like. I think it's a great space shoot 'em up. And some information here about the PC to DC ports that the guys who wrote the magazine would like to see. This one is Voyager, Elite Force, Star Trek, and Diablo 2. There was actually a Star Trek game in development for the Dreamcast, and I believe that somebody's trying to find it and release it. More news on that as it comes, but for now at least, there's not really much information about it. Advert there for Sydney 2000, and here we go on to more previews. So Urban Chaos, not a great game, and Stunt GP, which is a great game. PAL only as well, so if you can find that, get it, because it's really good, and it's a great alternative to Revolt. Silent Scope, another great arcade conversion, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Chris Tarrant there. Virgin Radio advert. Toy Story 2 preview, not the best, it's just really a port of the PlayStation game, PlayStation N64 game, and some news there about Worms World Party. Never been a fan of the Worms games myself, but some people are, obviously. Looney Tunes Space Race, did a review of that recently on the Dreamcast Junkyard. I really like it. It's a cool kart game. And the fourth part of the black and white development diary for the Dreamcast. Again, I've put scans of these on the Dreamcast Junkyard, so if you want to read this, then you can. Big preview here of Vanishing Point, another great game on the Dreamcast. Really good graphics. Okay, so this is the cover story, the big Half-Life preview, and these were at the time kind of exclusive shots of the game in action for the Dreamcast. And you can see, I mean, the character models, the hand models, for example, on the in the game, they're quite a little bit more advanced than the PC one. The PC version that was available at the time. So yeah, just more about the development of the game. And then down here you've got this big interview with Randy Pitchford, who was the president of Gearbox, who were doing the conversion, I believe. So I've put scans of that again on the Dreamcast Junkyard so you can read all that. And there's a picture down here of him actually playing the Dreamcast version with a Dreamcast controller on the CRT TV there, just to kind of prove that that's what they were looking at. Okay, just a weird kind of Clash of the Action Heroes feature there. Who would win? Apparently Vazio beats Gordon Freeman in the final round, if you wanted to know. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, this is the arcade version, not the version we actually got, which was a port of the PC game. Moving on to the review section. So, reviews, WWF Royal Rumble. Not a bad game by any means. That got 91%. Power Stone 2. We've all played Power Stone 2, I'm sure. That got 92%. Sydney 2000, 65%. Not the greatest game. Not the greatest athletics game, I should say. Spirit of Speed 1937. I've made my feelings on this game known many, many a time. It's absolutely horrific. And that got 39%. That's quite high, actually, for that game. Super Magnetic Neo, another great game. Imagine Crash Bandicoot for adults. It doesn't look like it's for adults, but the mechanic where you have negative and positive polarities on your head and you have to navigate kind of weird magnetic sequences to get over chasms, etc., is ridiculously difficult. So this isn't one that you want to give to kids because they just won't be interested. But yeah, that gets 85%. Walt Disney World Quest, 68%. That's really quite a basic PlayStation port, to be honest. It doesn't really look like a Dreamcast game, but you know, it's playable enough, I suppose. San Francisco Rush 2049, probably one of my favourite games on the Dreamcast. I've always been a fan of the San Francisco Rush series for some reason. I can't actually put a finger on why, because most people will tell you that it's probably not that good. But the Dreamcast game, I really enjoy. I really love it. And that got 71%. I think that's a bit low, personally. I would have given it probably in the 80s or, 90s. But I'm not reviewing the game. And then we've got Giant Gram 2000, which is the only import review in this issue, gets 93%. So 2% more than Royal Rumble got. And rightly so, really. I mean, I do own this game and I have played it quite a bit. And it's fantastic. I don't understand why they didn't use this game as a basis for a WWF game, for the Western market. It really would have been something special if they had done. Okay, moving on. We've got some adverts. The interact section with the letters page. Got reader reviews. I always look at these. We've got 90% for NFL Blitz 2000, 95 for Sonic Adventure, 92 for Resident Evil Code Veronica, and 89 for Soul Reaver. We've got the online section, just looking at some websites that you could actually look at with your Dreamcast at the time. Looking at the screenshots, I think they are actually looking at these sites with a Dreamcast. You can tell by the font on the screens. Let's move on. We've got Dreamcast Solutions, cheats, guides. Massive complete guide for Hidden and Dangerous. I don't get on with Hidden and Dangerous. I don't like the controls, and I just think it's a really difficult game. It's ambitious, but it's just because it's such a basic PC port. The game really chugs. I'm just not a massive fan of it at all. If they'd built it for the Dreamcast from the ground up as a specific Dreamcast port, then it would have been fine. But they just kind of shoehorned the PC game onto the Dreamcast, and you can really tell it doesn't look good either. Let's move past that. Okay, into the final section of the magazine now. We've got the directory. where they just go through the different games. DVD reviews, quite, representative of the time. You've got Stuart Little, The Limey. I've actually seen that, The Limey. Music reviews, Shampoo. Comics. Yeah, and then find ourselves at the end of the magazine, Stuff and Nonsense. This is where they do the reviews of little gadgets and things that were available at the time. Just really stupid things like Big Mouth Billy Bass, that fish that you put on the wall and press the button and it starts singing and moving. God, I hated those things. Move on. Adverts. And then a big advert at the back for PlayStation 2 magazine. I don't think it was out at the point this magazine came out. I don't think the PS2 was available. This must have been like a launch issue or something. Issue 1. And then next month, Quake 3 Arena on the horizon. Space Channel 5 F355 Challenge, and that was on sale the 5th of October 2000. Back issues, and then the final dream moment, which was when you get to meet the master in Virtua Tennis, and that is the end of the magazine. Hope you enjoyed that little look, a little trip down memory lane with issue 13 of Dreamcast magazine, and I'm sure I'll be doing the rest of them in the near future. So thanks for watching.